the beginning of 900 AD, governments in medieval Europe were not in order. Kings lost their power, so nobles stepped in political affairs. They collected taxes and imposed law among people. During the Middle Ages, people relied on nobles for protection. Nobles protected and supported people for service, such as fighting in a noble army or farming the land of a grant. Due to that, nobles created a system to bring order among society and was called feudalism. Feudalism was a social and political order in which the nobles governed and protected the people in return for service. Loyalty was diffused in society, which helped increase the usage of feudalism between people and members of the nobility during the 10th century. In the Middle Ages, nobles were divided into two types, lords and vassals. A lord had a power over a vassal, in which a vassal served a lord. Under the feudal order, the vassal had to protect their lords in battles, in which they were granted lands called fiefs. Knights were permitted in the feudal order. They were armed warriors who fought on horsebacks. They also had to protect the lord and his family, as well as the manor, from attacks. Although not as productive as the lords, knights were quite wealthy. During the Middle Ages, the code of chivalry was necessary in the feudal order. Nobles and knights equally believed in the code of chivalry and defending their society. The code of chivalry helped restrain order and duties. The code of chivalry stated that a knight was to be brave, obey his lord, respect women of noble birth, honor the church, and help the people. Nobles, knights, and peasants were accumulated in the manors. The manor consisted of the noble castle, the surrounding fields, and peasants' villages. Peasants were divided into two types, freemen and serfs. Freemen had more rights than serfs, as they could go wherever they want, they could marry, and they can buy their freedom. On the other hand, serfs could not go anywhere, could not marry without the noble's permission, and could not own property. Serfs also worked for long hours in the noble's land, and they sometimes had to give part of their crops to the nobles. Peasants lived in clustered villages around an open area called a village green. Peasants invented and developed many things that helped them work in the fields. Because of feudalism, more food was produced, in which peasants farmed in their noble lands. The increased food production led to the flourish of trade and economy of medieval Europe. This led to the growth of cities and towns in medieval Europe, which included Venice, Pisa, and Genoa in Italy. Noble families that played significant roles in those cities included Slovenian noble families, Moravian noble families, and Bohemian noble families. The increase of food production also helped stop famine in the late Middle Ages. European crusades further weakened feudalism, in which the nobles sold their land and freed their serfs. This reduced their power. Kings were able to build strong central governments. When feudalism ended, capitalism started. So in conclusion, feudalism is the main reason for the stability of order in Europe, and is the system that saved and shaped Europe.